Welcome back to the channel where I am just an ordinary person having a look at the Outlander so that we can get an idea what it looks like. The reason why I started this channel was because when I went out to buy an Outlander myself, I found there's other information out there that car dealers and the like have put out, but there's very little actual information from real owners, so you can get an actual idea of what the car's like. So hence my channel. I hope you guys all like what you see here. Please remember to like and comment. I always enjoy reading some comments, as long as they're nice of course, and subscribe to my channel so that we can get as much content out as possible. There's other videos, so please make sure you check those out as well. This is part 2, so make sure you check part 1 if you haven't already. We're going to have a look at some more features of the car, starting with the driver's area. This is a right-hand drive car. There shouldn't be much difference between the right-hand drive and the left-hand drive car, but for those of you familiar with left-hand drive cars, you'll just have to make sure you swap everything over in your brain. Looking first at the driver's door, you can see the diamond look it's got. You have the ability to set for 2 drivers, and then down here are the controls for a number of other things on the car, the windows, the mirrors and other adjustments. Below is the bottle holder, which I think most people use as a bin. Looking at the seat controls, you can see that the seat can go forward and back, and you can adjust the angle of the seat by moving the next lever backwards and forwards. Plus it's also got a lumbar support to make the lumbar area go in and out. Unfortunately, you can't move it up and down to get just that right spot on your back when you're going for a long drive. It'd be really nice if they did. Let's now look at those hard to get to controls. When you're driving along in your car, you can't really easily get to these. You have to kind of look unless you're used to the braille of them. So you can see there's a boot opener. You've got to push the boot button down for a couple of seconds. Next there's the AC 1500 watts. You push this button in order to enable the power sockets. There are 2 of them, so it's great to have and when you've got a power cut or some sort of a need for them. Next is the petrol cap opener, adjusting brightness of the display, and then on the second row you have a button to unlock the charger. So if the charger is locked and it won't come off by itself, you can push this button. Next is one to turn the charge timer off, so if you set a timer you can turn it off. The last 2 are to disable the heads up display, and the final one is to turn lane assist off or on. Next let's move up to the steering wheel, where we've got a fairly standard set of controls. On the left hand side you've got the menu controls, volume up, skip track and select, normal back and forward kind of a buttons, nothing particularly unusual there. Pretty much every car is the same. And then over the right hand side you've got the cruise control settings. Looking into the center of the car, there's a nice soft armrest here. It doesn't go backward and forward at all. You've got 2 cup holders with nice springy things in them. I like them when they're left to right. No arguments about whose is whose. You've got the levers here. You've got the dial lever to select your mode, plus the center button for hill descent control. Then you've got the gear shifter. It doesn't really move very much, which is kind of a bit of its charm. You just move it in different directions. And then up here you've got 2 USB ports, 1 USB-C and 1 regular, and then you've got the climate controls up there top. On each side there's space to store your cell phone, and that includes when your cell phone is in a case, so that's really good. Moving to the other side of the car, the controls are pretty much identical as the driver's side. You've got memory controls for adjusting the seats for depending on the passengers you've got. You've got the same adjustments for the seat, and hidden below is the Bose amp. Heading to the back seat now, you can see that there are nice holders there to put a cell phone in and maybe a tablet, and then it's got other pocket holders down below. The rear passengers get vents, but these aren't just for when you got passengers. If you're on a cold day, it's good to have these in here because it helps to heat up the whole car. The rear passengers do get seat warmers and the ability to adjust the temperature. Below that they've got USB-C and regular USB for charging, though they can't plug a stereo in to play it. And then down below that you've got a mains power socket. This of course would be different in your country. Up above is the sunroof with the adjusters there, along with the ability to control the lights. The front section of the sunroof goes up and back, whereas the rear section is fixed. The cover for the sunroof rolls into this very bulkier area at the back. It goes a long way and it really gets in the way if you've got any tall passengers sitting in the back. This bulge comes down quite a distance, a total of 9 centimeters, which is about 3.5 inches down, so that really can get in the way of any tall rear seat passengers. Let's have a look now and see how much room we get once we fold the seat down. I'm going to measure the total length that we managed to get. So let's pull the lever to fold the seat down, and it doesn't actually go all the way. The driver's seat gets in the way. This is because the driver's seat moves all the way back automatically when you get out of the car each time. You can see it's pretty well wedged in there. We have to do something else. So we're going to need to manually move the driver's seat forward. So let's see how much distance we get with the driver's seat all the way back. Which is 1.7 meters or 60. If we bring the seat all the way to the very front, which would make it impossible to drive, let's see how much we get. So now that tape measure comes all the way, much further than it did before, to, let's have a look, let's wait, drum roll please, to 1.95 meters, which is 67 inches. Looking inside the filler cap, you can see it's got quite a nice little place where you can sit the filler cap while you're filling up. Hopefully you won't have to do that very often, because you'll mainly be able to run your car on electric mode. And you can see this car runs 91. Okay, so that's enough for part 2. I'll be doing a part 3 which will include taking the car out for a drive. So while I finish off, just give a look at what's actually under the bonnet. I'm not going to try and say anything about this because I'm not much of an expert on the mechanics of a car, but I hope you enjoy having a look at it. So please remember to like and subscribe. I always enjoy a few comments. I'll just let this video run out without me talking so you can have a look at it. Cheers.